Oh, hello, my sweets. Oh, won't you come with me? There's oh so much to show in this grim dark distillery. And if you like bullshit or want some hobby tips, this nightmare priest nigh on Barn Railroad Magnificent welcomes you. Hello, my sweets. Yes, hello, Possum. I wasn't sure we were going to be here this morning. Figured you might be too sleepy of a boy. I am the sleepiest of boys, which means that it's the opportune time to make some demons. That's really the key. So we're at a bit of a sticky wicket here because I don't have a base big enough for what grief is going to be on. So we're going to have to do a little bit of finagling. Let's see. This will do. So essentially, I'm going to. Good morning, Shankly. Damon's Day. It's Damon's Day. So, from a lore standpoint, and from like a. What is the. I always talk about it with Tyranids. The design language. So, from a design language and lore aspect, the demon grief is closest of kin to the paramour. They are the most alike in nature and in purpose. So it is going to bear a lot of resemblance to the paramour in some manners, but it is quite a different beast. As such, it's not able to fit on the base size that the paramour is on. This is, man, I want to say like a 120 millimeter oval. Pretty much. That got scuffed. I'll have to fix that at some point. Oh well. But yeah, pretty much that's what most greater demons are going to be on. Yeah, Shankly, those sunrot models are fucking sick. Yeah, I was trying to go to sleep last night and just, oh boy, I could not. I could not stop thinking about working on grief. So we need a base first and foremost. And to figure out the size of it, I'm going to make a quick little scrap base. And then eventually I'll print one out, which super big fucking news, and I'm really stoked about it. I'll go ahead and pop them on the table here real quick. But your boy finally got the files for the castle for 1490 Doom. So, Greeblin finished this little butte earlier this morning. Actually, like maybe an hour ago. So all night long, I was just hanging out with Greeblin, sleeping on the couch because I was just tossing and turning. So that's how your boy rolls. It's that time of the year. Fun. Which means that this is the best time to make grief because this is, yeah, it's just, it all adds up. So I have more time now, and that is a big key part. I think a lot of people did not understand the sheer insane like amount of shit that I built in a small time last year for Vistarian. And I'm not tooting my own horn. It's just, it's comical because it's like literally the most shit that I've ever made at one point in time. And most of it was like, I mean, I took multiple weeks off of work just to work on it, trying to make sure that I could do it. And also doing everything secretly sucks. But man, that was the best payoff. People showing up and thinking that they were just going to get some gang warfare. And then all of a sudden you get the child inverted and the paramour showing up. And then Johnny's massive fucking tower, the lighthouse. Just, it was very good. Very, very good. Alrighty. So we're going to flip frustration around and use the other side of that. Alrighty. That's roughly right. Alright, frustration. You get to go over here now. Back where you belong. In your cage. You gotta keep your frustrations in a cage. There's a lot of double meaning there. That was completely unintentional. I was just talking about putting it up inside of inside of my cabinet. But yeah, which man, I can't wait. I got to tell you, uh, one of those hashtags that I put on my Instagram post is hashtag chastity cage, and I have a very, 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 very strong feeling that my post with that hashtag is going to look vastly different than every other one. So I'm sorry for anyone if you end up here because of that, and you're just upset that I've upset you forever. But if not, then hi, welcome. I'm glad you weren't upset. It's not the well, actually, it's completely intention. The complete intention of making things like that are to be visually very upsetting and make people think. That's the number one, is to think. But so, grabbing the wood, we get to have some cholo wood. Cholo wood. Yeah, we're gonna go a little bit. I'm fucking it up. It's okay. This is not a precise one. I just need it to be somewhat reminiscent of a size that I know I can reliably print at any point in time. And I have the size already mapped out from Frustrations. It's going to use the same size base as Frustration. It's a big boy. Also kind of drying itself. Grief is, for the faint of heart, probably going to be one of the most fucked up things you've ever seen. Just so you know what you're getting into. There's very firm reasons why I have not worked on it until now. But it is now the time of the year that I know I am going to be absolutely the best at making grief, because it is right around the time that the child inverted was birthed. So you have to make sure you're working in your cycles and your moons and your moon phases. You know, I try to make sure I do that. I don't know anything about that. I'm just talking to my ass. I am not. I love the whole Visterian setting. I was thinking about making some for you. You should, Shankly. We were talking about collaborations and stuff. I can say with a very firm stance, there will be a Visterian event held in E-Town at some point. I am going to put one on. And I mean, if in all honesty, it's probably going to involve that massive 7.5 by like 5.5 foot board. The giant cathedral that Bertels is making. So yeah, perfect. Thanks, friend. Shout out to my neighbors who they are where I got almost all of my model, like car models, just like scale models. Like I bought 60 something plus model kits at a yard sale, and that's pretty much where a lot of my scratch building materials comes from. This guy was another fun little one that just popped out. They were like, "Hey, do you want this guy? You can just have him." And I was like, "Why not?" The thing is, his legs are too rubbery, and also he has way too much muscle. That's a key thing. A key thing about grief. Its legs are upsettingly not muscular. Before we get into, because we're going to scratch build this thing almost entirely. That is what I would have done with the Paramore. However, I did not have the time. So the Paramore is actually made out of a Barbie doll, much like its sibling. Not in like actual sibling. It's not. This is not a Demon of the Child inverted. This is just my first like steps into doing larger scale stuff. But the piece that I'm working on for Tim, and it will eventually be done. But hot damn, I got other stuff going on. These two are probably the closest in like design language. They are both made out of a Barbie doll that I've done horrible things to, cutting it up, bending it in ways it's not supposed to bend, and then a 3D printed head on this one. Same thing as that. Those are a skull. When I say 3D printed head, I don't mean I printed that head. I mean I had a skull and I sculpted onto the heads. Everything that's different. And that's where we're going. Pretty much that's going to be the only piece that's not going to be scratch built for grief. Because a Barbie, while it would be really good to have something to work with, it's going to be way more cutting than I think it would be worth. And I think that it would just be easier to make it out of scratch. So let's take a peek at this cholla wood. Everyone knows I love cholla wood. So cholla wood is this really wild shit, and this is where one of the main design aesthetics and cues and design language. I've talked about that a lot, but design language is extremely fucking important. Dr. Zayas, yes, Zayas. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I could always do with a monkey man. Like that's great. He's got hair. He's got abs for days. He's got weird rubber legs. I don't know why the legs are rubber, but the arms aren't. But hey, you do you, boo. So yeah, this is cholla wood. Cholla wood is really fucking cool. I found this because a friend of mine, shout out Lissy, a friend of mine gave me some for one of my shrimp tanks, which is no longer currently up, which is a healthy thing. Don't be upset about that. It's healthy for me. So the cholla wood, shrimp really like it because it provides them a lot of spaces to hide, but it's just such a weird piece of wood. And the thing is, because it's wood, it's very natural. It's extremely organic on its own out the gate. Like, I don't have to do anything to it to make it look utterly alien, just because it naturally has its own way of growing and whatnot. So I'm looking for a very specific kind of piece here that we are going to have for grief. But yeah, here's Grief's head. Yeah, that's going to be good. Grief has a larger head than its body should allow. But, things don't really work that way. So, we normally, how I get to this step, you get here by taking a 4-pound sledgehammer. You don't have to use a sledgehammer, but I do. I use a 4-pound hand sledge because pretty much there's no way you can fuck it up. Oh, I didn't hit it hard enough. No, if you hit it with this, and that thing will fucking break, and it will give you very, very, very diverse shapes. And that is where I go through selecting which ones that I want to use depending on the bizarreness of them or how fitting they are. And also, there's all kinds of wonderful little, almost like fossilized kind of pieces of dirt and wood that get, stuck together inside of this. That is also just good material, but that's not what we're looking for. So what we are looking for specifically, I'll draw that out right here. Where'd my pencil go? Where is my goddamn Bible? There you are. Pencil, not the Bible. Yeah, I want to use that. There's another skull somewhere around here. I think I already used it, though. I think I used it for the fuck around, find out, 30-25. Yep, that's where it is. Eventually we'll get to that. That's probably going to be later on, though. So, Grief has a very specific shape of horns. So that is a bit what Grief's horns are going to look like. You can't see it because, of fucking course not, Eli. So, pretty sure when Kimmy's there came out, he almost snagged some of that on our hike in the desert. Oh, really? Hell yeah. That would make sense. Yeah, I think that would make sense. I believe it is a desert kind of. So, yeah. The shape that we are going for is very, very reminiscent of a jester's cap. And initially when I was working on what this, yeah, that's good. We want to start with the head, right? No, hold back, hold back. So, a couple things that I know we need. We're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nails, and a couple of pieces of cholla wood here. We need them to be curved though. And one of the first ones that I saw that I thought could be good is this one. That's a good piece. I definitely like that. Yeah, there we go. That's a good piece. We're gonna use that one. Probably that. Maybe even that. We can add to it. So I'm gonna grab. Also, I'm going to specify, I am very aware that my desk is still a mess. I was mid working on a commission and I thought, well, I'm going to stop there. Before I started working on the commission, I was like, hey, you know what would be a better idea? Instead of cleaning up my mess like a grown-up, what if I just started working on commissions and the stuff that I was going to put up, I just kind of pull from that. That's like killing 2 birds with the first bird. That's a common saying. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. It's a common Kentucky saying. Killing 2 birds with the first bird. Everyone knows that. If someone from Kentucky tells you that they've never heard that before in their life, they're lying to you, and they don't want to let you in on our secrets. I will share them all with you, my sweets. Alrighty, so bye cholla wood. Yeah, cholla wood's really cool. I did not, so that was it. I never explained, hey, what happened with the shrimp stuff. So the shrimp, well, they refused to breed because they hate me. And then, you know, as is all things. And then the plants ended up being taken out. The shrimp tank that these were specifically given to me for were a 7-gallon nano tank that I was working on. It was my first dip into CO2, which is definitely a whole different type of fish keeping. But we need these, and we're going to need the big old pliers, because a lot of this is going to be not so much cutting, but breaking and tearing. And that is because, one, metaphorically, I think also that's a key part of my art. I like to try and make things as... I like my work and how I make something to reflect its nature. And all of the child inverted stuff. Where the fuck are my other pliers? This is the... Oh, there they are. Yep. They're over there because I use them to push down Greeblin's bearing the other day. So I'm happy with this base size, and I'm happy with this head. So yeah, definitely probably going to be going out like that on the back. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to break this. There's no way. Nope. We're going to have to smash that with a hammer. I'll be right back. Don't mind me. Where's that one? There's the hammer. Hello. Go over here into the darkness and do a little bit of smashing. Oh boy. And that is how we get the shapes we want. I'm ready for anyone to tell me what problem can't be fixed with a 4-pound mallet. Go on, I'll wait. We got all day. None. And look at that. That's fucking perfect. It's almost like divine intervention. That's an unpleasant sound. And I also forgot how fucking thick and hard this shit is. So I'm gonna have to grab my actual wood saw. But I bet I can cut that with these. It's not too dense. Yeah. Pieces going everywhere. Bow, bow, bow. I'm excited. I have not done anything super crazy in a hot minute like this. That's so good. You already look so good. I'm so proud of you. Look at you. Man, as soon as we put this down in that little dome of yours, bada bing, bada boom, you're off to the ball. That one's going right there, of course. So I'm going to cut right here. Those two holes are because that's absolutely a point of least resistance. We want to keep that. I like that. Or do I? Ooh, I like them both. I like that extra hole there. We'll hold on to that piece. Man, oh man, this is going to fuck my wrist up. Making cool stuff. Good morning, Gardner. How are you? That didn't feel good. On we move. I used to be an adventurer like you until I took a bunch of cholla wood to the stomach. Oh yeah, and the axe to the knee. I do find that funny that I took an arrow to the knee is like, you know, term for getting married, and shortly after I got married, I did take an axe to the knee. Good to hear, my friend. Good to hear. I think that's going to be good. I think nope, that's it, done. There's no argument on that one. We're going to go ahead and glue that part back right now. Hello, glue. Hello, glue, my old friend. Yeah, I thought it would be fun to kind of show the entire process of how one of these things is made. So I thought I would just do that in the hobby hangs for the next little bit. And then after those, like after that ends in the mornings, I'll get onto my commissions and get those knocked out. Which I'm very excited to work on. We are going to give that a little spritz. Spritz, spritz. Yeah, that's good. 1, 2, 3. I heard a cool guy commissioned a cool Caldor gang leader. A cool guy did commission a cool Caldor gang leader. I'm pretty excited to work on it. It was really fun coming up with the design for it, which that is what the second drawing that I shared on my story the other day was. For those of you who saw that. Actually got it right here. This guy. I was pretty pleased with him. I'm pretty pleased with the overall vibe. I'm really excited to do the chainsaw because I haven't had a eviscerator to make in a long time. And I've got a thing that I want to do with it that is definitely going to be rowdy as hell. So I'm excited to see what you think about it. It's very cool. Hell yeah, awesome. Glad you like it. I'm gonna start working on that one today as well. I say that, and then the first one, the biomechanical monstrosity, that's the one that I've physically started actually working on the model, and it's been a insane amount of fun. And I realize that is one of the things that I'm like, man, I've never thought about that, but I am going to love making things for other people that are not like, oh, that's what I'm doing right now, because it's an entirely different. It's just like it's a fresh air, like a breath of fresh air in what I love doing. And for someone else, like I love the idea of being able to see like, oh, I made this, and then see, especially like, you know, if they are going to paint it, which anybody who is like wanting to reach out for a commission, I am not offended by you at all. If you want to paint it yourself, I would like that. Actually, I really am looking forward to seeing like seeing and hearing what people think about painting the commissions that I do, because it is very different. Like the way that I naturally paint is very ink and wash heavy. And because all of the models that I make are so textured, it lends itself to that extremely well. And I just want to see what anyone else has to say about it. I know you've been messing a lot with oils, and it's so fun. It's so fun doing oils on stuff that's just dripping in texture, because it gets into every little nook and cranny, and just creates so much depth and variation. I'm remembering now that I did this in a bag last time, because it sprays pieces everywhere. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Look at you. I'm such a proud papa, even though the child hates you grief. Three. I think 3. That'd be good. Yeah. All right, just a bit off the top, eh? Just a bit off the top, eh, Mr. Grief? Mr. Greed? Sad. Unintentionally made myself sad. For those of you who have not seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, do yourself a favor and go watch that. If you are a fan of anime, I imagine that you've seen it, but if not, it's... I'd argue I think it's the best. It's a very, 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 very fucking good anime. It's not my favorite. I do think it's the best one I've seen, though. I still don't get oils. I tried a couple times and just can't compute. The biggest thing, I think the last time we talked about this, is the varnishing. Essentially, anytime you do anything right before you introduce enamels, oils, honestly, any wash, outside of like GW, Vallejo, like water-based washes, Pro Acryl, outside of brands, like the moment you start getting into anything by like, AK, MIG, any of those weathering companies that use enamels and like acrylics, like real acrylics, you want to put a gloss varnish on there. And that is because on a microcellular level, the finish on gloss is so much smoother, whereas matte actually is opened. So the gloss actually helps it to spread better, faster, smoother over there. But the number one thing is it keeps whatever you're washing or putting on there from eating your previous work. And then it's key to remember when you are done with that, if you're going to do anything else, the same thing applies. Like if you go back and forth, every time you go back and forth, you got to recoat that, or it will eat each other. So that's a big part of that process. And if you don't know that, it can be extremely frustrating, like trying to find that out. Where's my saw? Take a little at the top, eh? All right. No worries, mate. This is the ASMR that no one else gives you. I know what you want. As far as where this skull came from, I couldn't tell you who made it, but it is just an anatomical skull study, and I love it. It's a very good sculpt clay skull, so I use them a lot. It also can be shrunk and printed at very, very, very small sizes. I think the thing that I like the most about it, there we go, cracked through the other side. Hey boys, off the top of the dome. But yeah, look at all that. That's fun. I don't know why I'm breaking that. Calm down. What are we doing? Little bit of grief off the top. Yeah, I said, Mr. Grief. Kind of sounds like Mr. Greed. And if you've seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, there's a character that has a very, 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 very sad interaction with Mr. Greed. There's glue on the table. Let's get that off. Scrape, scrape, scrape. What the heck was even that? No, okay, it's my cover. I still don't know where my other knife is. Margot's upstairs. She's just like, that's a key part. The cool thing about using only oils is that it doesn't need varnishing after it cures so solid. Yeah, that is true. And that, truth be told, is the walker. The walker was not sealed. The walker was wet when Johnny and I were on our way to Texas. The amount of oils that were like still seeping into the cracks and whatnot were very, very intense. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Before we do anything crazy, let's get some of these little supports out of there. It's pretty intensive. Oh no. Your little face broke, but that's okay. We'll never be able to tell, trust me. Where are my other snips? There they are. Hello, friend. We're going to do a little cutting because I don't want to break the face part. That's going to be very key. The only parts that you're really going to see from this are going to be the overall shape, the teeth, and then around the eye sockets. But there's going to be a lot of sculpting around that. I'm really glad that this is not full of wet resin. It's always key to make sure that it's cured. So you don't want to fuck with that. For your health. Rules. For your health. Don't have a date at the prom? Just take your mom, dummy. She's a girl. Rules. Oh boy, I'm pretty tired. I'm just gonna be really blunt about that. I went to bed at like 3 a.m. last night. Got up at 6. So, also did not sleep well the night before. Not been sleeping well. Well, grief keeping me up. So it's got to get out of my house. Alrighty, grief. Little super glue, all around there, and maybe in here. Don't tell nobody. All these little bits. Definitely wish I just had Sprung for the TMP painting class. I've not taken it. I did watch a couple people taking it, I think, at Adepticon the first year. And I know they all were very, very pleased. Matt is a wonderful teacher from what I've heard. Obviously, his work's great. So, love Matt. He definitely has working with oils down to a science, like and very effective. That's good. That is good. All right. Yep. We were on the right page. Oh. That piece is going to have to get cut from the team. Or, yeah, it's going to have to get cut. There's no way. You are not strong enough for this, my little friend. And you might not be either. Jesus. Cholo wood is really intense. It's very hard. Again, 4-pound mallet on concrete. So like that's how I make sure it breaks when I want it to. But once we've gotten into this shape, it's a lot more trial and error, and trying to keep from breaking the parts that we don't want to break. That is going to be good. Yep, right there. It might need a fourth. Maybe? Nah. Nah, that's good. That's going to be good. I'm so excited to work on you, Grief. We've all been waiting for this, I think. Yep. All right. Well, there's more of a hole there than we needed, but that's not going to stop us. That's going to be too much. That'll stop us. Stop us right in our tracks. Yeah, painting with oils is something that I am definitely still in the process of learning myself. I know Matt almost entirely paints in oils, though, which is something similar in like theory, I would think, to how I typically paint heavily with washes. That is what we need right there. So we're going to cut that. Oh, yeah. I see you. I see you in there, Grief. So ready to come out and play. Just gonna have a great day. Super glue. Hey, Loose Bits Batman. Loose Bits Batman. That's fun. I like that name. Good morning. Hello, Loose Bits Batman. That's good. Clay's title that he gave me the other day, the Golden Demon disqualifying Eli. That's Golden Demon disqualifying is one of the best titles I can imagine for myself. And that's as someone who has been just minding his own business, and someone off in the distance goes, "Hey, yo, King Piss!" And like my wife's just like, "Do you know that guy?" Or actually, no, it was my buddy Ian. We were at Flywheel, and I was just sitting outside having a beer with my friend Ian, and someone yelled, "Hey, yo, King Piss!" And I was like, "Yo, what up?" And he was like, "That guy just call you King Piss?" And I was like, "Yeah, I make music under that name. A lot of people know me by King Piss." I still stand firm. It was a very good choice of a musical name to go with. No regrets whatsoever. But yeah, Golden Demon disqualifying. That's a title that I'm like, fuck yeah. Holy Loose Bits Batman. I thought it said hi Loose Bits Batman, and I was like, man, I like that. That's great. But no, holy Loose Bits Batman. That makes more sense. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. I'm sorry. Fuck yeah. Okay. Grief, my child. I'm so excited to bring you into the world. Everyone's gonna hate you. That's nothing new, though. Yeah, right there. That's what we're thinking, but we want that to be a lot sharper. Stop. Tamia, get over here. You don't get to play. Not today. You're too important. You'll get hurt. Cholo, cholo wood. cholla wood. But yeah, I never finished the statement of that. I did not put this in the shrimp tank because it looks very alien, clearly. But all of my fish tanks I try to be as, again, the whole God complex thing. It's more of a, hey, where do these guys live? Cool, I'm going to replicate that entire ecosystem in a little box, and get to play God for everything in there. Give them the best little life that I can. It's part of the reason that I have Jason. One, I love Jason. She's just great. She's the greatest frog in the whole wide world. Jason Funderburker. But yeah, she is wonderful. And knowing that like I can septuple her lifespan by like having her in my house and feeding her a worm like once a week, it's like, I'm down with that. Yep. I'm so fucking pumped. Like this is gonna be so sick. So one of the things that I got for the Paramour that I did not use is a obscene amount of small bells. It is going to have those tied to these horns. So first and foremost, we're gonna start just filling that in with some styrofoam, not styrofoam, Reynolds wrap, stuffing it down in there, aluminum foil, if you will, aluminium, for those of you across the pond. I gotta say, for the longest time, I want to just stop right there and tell anyone else who does not know this. For the longest time, I thought that aluminium was just like, man, why are they saying it like that? It's literally, there were two fucking words for the same thing at one point in time because of the spellings that were used alternated. Some people spelt it and pronounced it aluminum. Some people spelt it and pronounced it aluminium. That is why there are two. It's not just a silly British people thing. They're literally using the, I think, technically oldest verbiage, which makes sense. But we had one of the reps for one of the vendors at my former job was British, and it was always fun when he'd be like, it's constructed of aluminium. Everyone would just kind of be like, nice. You never get to hear that. Here it's aluminum. Hey, brother, you got some aluminum over there? Specifically in, rural America. All right, friend, it's time to push you into the cracks. Just go in. Man, I did not mean to take the time loose bits Batman. I didn't mean to take that. It wasn't earned, but that was a good title. Not the hero the 28 community wants, but it's the one it deserves. Fuck yeah, that's gonna be perfect. See, Grief, you thought you were never gonna get borned. Joke's on you, sucker. We are just gonna start putting a lot more super glue on this thing, and I'm gonna hit it with some super glue accelerator because I don't want to have a whole bunch of wet super glue around because I don't like chemical burns. That's just me. Aluminum. That's that aluminum, isn't it? Oh, geez, crazy. We love his miracles, don't we? And that was, I think, Griffith. I do that every fucking time. Typically when I'm like talking faster, so I'm like, oh yeah, and then Griffith said blah, blah, blah. And Kelly was like, I don't think Griffith was in My Brother and Me. I think you're thinking of Griffin, not Griffith. Griffith being the, newest member of the God Hand from Berserk. The main bad guy. Not the same thing. Griffin McElroy is the guy who ate like a banana while it was still in its wrapper. At some I think E3. That was a viral video from a couple years ago. It was pretty fun. Different people entirely. He also used to work at Polygon. That's where a lot of people might know him. All right. In we go. Aluminum. It's aluminum, isn't it? I have been in the zone, so auto zone. How can you be so sure? I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question, Possum. I'm gonna be honest. My brain. I'm so tired. Like, what was I talking about? What can I be sure of? I don't know. I can't be sure of anything at this point. You know, well, technically, I do know. The only way to know to be sure is to nuke it from orbit. I know that. It's the only way to know to be sure. Now, as far as the actual full quote, I'm not going to be able to remember what he says. Something, something. Nuke the whole site from orbit. Only way to be sure. Oh, Higgs. I am still waiting for the robot overlords to send a Terminator to kill Grieveland. No updates on that for you guys. How can you be so sure if it isn't Griffith McElroy? I can't. That is true. I cannot prove that it's not Griffith McElroy. I did not. Did I meet Griffin? I didn't meet Griffin. I met Travis and Justin and their dad at the Here There Be Gerblins release party. They had a little tour that they did when they put the Adventure Zone into comic book form. And one of the places they came was Lexington. So we went there and got to meet them, chat them up a little bit, have some laughs, and got a little book signed. Yeah, that's my phrase, Gerblins. That is a Griffith McElroy. Griffin, I did it again, fuck! Which, I always just imagine like a Gerblin is just the derpiest goblin. Which also, can we talk, watched K-Pop Demon Hunters again yesterday. It was great. Man. On second watch, my wife's third or fourth, I don't know how many she's watched at this point in time. She likes that movie a lot. It's really good. I'm not even gonna say anything. Like I'm gonna watch it again. It's really good. Every song's a bop. But the tiger's name is just Derpy Tiger, and I'm like, that's so good. I love that tiger. It's my spirit animal. It's not my spirit animal. It's just fun. I don't want to disparage concepts of spirit animals. Man, I wonder if that's getting in my coffee. I hope not. I'm acting like I'd be able to fucking taste it. I don't know. Oh, Grief, what do you think? Not a time for jokes, Grief. Despite what you may think. It's going to be time for epoxy sculpt, though. But first, we're going to give you a vertebrae. Because Daddy needs a handle. That was a very unpleasant feel. Kind of like gave way and just felt way too soft. Just a little bit too thin, I suppose. So it's going to have an actual spine. But this is probably where it's going to connect. And I want to use something other than the head itself. There we go. To hold on to you. Like that. I think Anna has watched 4 times and I think I've watched twice. It's so good, dude. It's so good. Like, it's nuts. It's just one, it's crazy that a Netflix movie is going to theaters because of how insane everybody is about it. Two, it's nuts that it's like an animated straight to Netflix movie that has like #1 hits on like billboards because like it's they're just every fucking song and there's like it's a bop. They're all bops. There's too many bops. Like they didn't think about what they were doing like from a responsible standpoint. I'll tell you that. Too many bops. You're gonna do something to the market. Whole thing's gonna crash. Our planet can't handle much more of this shit. I know you were trying to do the right thing and make good, wholesome entertainment for people. But you might have gone too hard. That's not on you. The world just wasn't ready for it. Too many bops. Is Kids Bop still a thing? I hope not. I always found that very odd. The concept of like taking very adult songs and making them for children. It just kind of seems wild. Seems like playing with fire. Which normally I'm all about, but not in this case. Different. I'm more of a literal. No, that would just look silly. Actually, that would look really good. Needs a little off the bottom though. Or maybe none and all off the top. That does not look bad at all. I do like that. That's going there. Okay. Happy accident. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, right there. Yep. Fuck. That is perfect. So now it's going to look like that is actually cracked away from that one. Great. Good work, Grief. Greeblin, we're doing it. Nope. Maybe. Nope. 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 I seem to have come up against a wall of some sorts. No, but that did look good for almost a second. Needs to be smaller, which means, aha, hello, my friend. Right there, right there. Yeah, that's good. Fun. What a fun guy. Everybody likes Grief because he's the funniest demon in town. Always telling jokes. Chester hat. Everybody loves Grief. Poke, poke. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're gonna put it on this side. I think it's still the #1 movie on Netflix, and it's been a while since it came out. It was only briefly dethroned. Hell yeah. It's so good. So good. Trying to think, what else did we watch? I went to go see the Fantastic Four with my nephew for his birthday. And then, which was good, Pedro Pascal. He's great. I'm not a superhero like movie fan, but I love Pedro Pascal, so there's that. You want me to come watch your superhero movie, put Pedro Pascal in it. If Marvel and DC just started making every movie, remaking it with Pedro Pascal as every superhero, maybe you'd get my money. You definitely would if it was like all of them at once, like Pedro Pascal, Spider-Man, Superman, like everybody I guess, what is that, like the fucking Avengers or whatever? Like the full team of Avengers, everybody's played by Pedro Pascal. That's the kind of movies that we need right now. I feel like it would fix things. It would. Mm. Okay. Maybe. No, you silly goofball. That looks crazy. Unless. No. This one, though. That looks pretty good. We're probably going to be using some epoxy sculpt on that part where it's really flattish. But I'm going to definitely put this little tube combination right here because I think that... I wonder if I should move my camera to the corner over there as opposed to where it is in the bottom left. I don't know. Might be better for visibility. Might have been this guy that I was looking for. It was. Hello, friend. Get in there. Now you're part of the horn. It's time. Pretty big head. Not too big, right? No, not too big. Green screen. When? I don't... Yeah, I need to do that. Sam and I will fuck with that tomorrow. I will make a note of that. I need to... I have not done that at all. Huh. It's up behind me. I've just been trying to focus on, like, which project do I need to work on now, and then just jumping around all over the place. So doing a bad job of that, I guess. But multifaceted progress on multiple projects is hard to keep track of. And I definitely need to make a mental note of that. But yeah, no, green screen, definitely need to put the green screen on. And I definitely, we did talk about that this week, or weekend, working on actually filming and getting stuff done to start using those cameras more and actually have some content like gaming. But alrighty, that's a lot of super glue on there, making me anxious. I don't want a chemical burn. Not today. Not today, Satan. Or Jeebus. Hi, friends. Hey, hey, hey. What a fun, happy guy. So... You can't turn... Oh, you can. That's better. Let's get those piggies going the other way. About like that. About like this. Head up here, but you got a long neck. Thought that was hair on there for a second. It's not. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Big old head. Yes. Okay. Wonderful. So pumped. Get your hands off of my woman, motherfucker. I don't know if anyone remembers The Darkness, but that was like another song on the album that they put out. I was just really pumped that like an 80s hair metal band like came out in like mid 2000s. I was like, where have you guys been? This is great. I'm not a hair metal guy. Well, I take that back. That's a filthy lie. Fucking love Whitesnake. And Journey. Different kind of metal. I mean, that's just 80s hair rock music. I don't know. What a silly goober. I am no goober. Do you know? I'll have to look at that in a second. Alrighty, so aluminum foil time. I think think it's time to start making your body. No. Yeah, I'll make the body, and then I'm going to go back and do the head, like the detailing of what things are going in there, just so I can outline the shape and keep things in mind's eye. In my mind. Trying to think, what else? Oh, I beat Tales of Iron 2, which it was good. It's not as good as Tales of Iron 1, in my opinion. But what do I know? That's one of my favorite quotes from Gary Busey. I don't remember what the context was about. I don't think it was really anything. I think it was just kind of insane Gary Busey interview. But someone was just like, what do you think about blank, blank, blank? And he was like, well, I think blah, 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 blah. But I'm just Gary Busey. What the hell do I know? And I'm just like, that's such a good response. So now I sometimes say, I don't know. What the hell do I know? I'm just Gary Busey. Also, can't stress enough, I love the movie Predator 2. I would say it's a guilty pleasure, but there's nothing guilty about it. Like I just love Predator 2. It's not a good movie, but it is a great movie, if that tracks. Now, Predator is actually a good movie. Also, new Predator's coming out. That looks dope as hell. Been listening to Messiah Force lately, and that's been fun hearing about them. Man, I've not heard of them. I will have to check that out. Alrighty. Messiah Force. I don't know if you're going to need... I don't think you need an armature in your foot or your leggy. That's about right. Yeah, hell yeah. Got it in one, baby. I'm actually really impressed. I don't know how I did that. All right, well, just eyeball. That's roughly the length of a Barbie leg, right? Oh boy. I'm really excited to finally have the 1490 Dream Castle files and start printing those, because I really want to play the Fall of Rothenburg, which I do not believe that my castle that I made will be appropriate for because of various different terrain that's needed. So I need to have some modular stuff. So a lot of the stuff that I've worked on for Forbidden Psalm, anything that can be used in that manner will be used, and I'm looking forward to it. Because man, oh man, do I. Also, can we talk about the bees? Not the bees. Yes, the bees. I'm so pumped that now there's rules for the beekeeper. Yes, so pumped. Also, Doom Company markings are rad as hell. Like, that's also, they actually did a lot of things. They changed a lot of small things, all for the better. The number one that I think is, if I'm seeing it correctly, I really like, and that is how ranged weapons work. They really made it more something you have to think about and situational, but it's not as cut and dry as, oh, I want to use this because it can reach out further, or oh, it does more damage. Now, if I'm reading correctly, you do not have to reload a bow. However, it naturally shoots half as far, and you have to spend your first action to overdraw to pull the string back further, and that means that if you use your next action to fire it, it will go twice as far. You double the range. So that it still is able to reach out and touch other models that 10 inches away, whereas the crossbow still is only 5. But I really like that you don't have to reload it. And maybe I was just thinking that was the case, but I'm playing it incorrectly. But I think it just said all ranged weapons had to be reloaded. But yeah, much more like unique, I think, and better for making you decide what you kind of want. But yeah, the Doom Hunter, the Beekeeper, and the Blacksmith were three really cool additions, all with very cool new impacts to the game that I've been looking forward to, and finally being able to get my hands on the rules and see them. Not to mention all the models and stuff, which that's something I'm doing today, is getting my resin printer set up, because we got to start doing that again. It's been a while, been a hot minute. Yeah, look at you, perfect little leggies, you silly boy, so silly. You guys know Mo? I don't know. If you like Adventure Time, you might know Mo. It's pretty Mo-esque. Yeah. And so there's little hippies are going to be. So the part where it's going to be kind of interesting is the body. Grief is hollow, like the Paramore, as they are kin. Man, okay, this is going to be, I might use some foam, because that's going to eat a lot of aluminum. Maybe. It's hollow though. At the top it's not. At the top I need a, I'm going to have to make a spine real quick. Hello, metal. I don't know if we're gonna do hands like I did for the Paramore, but I might. I'm kind of leaning to it. No, we won't, because they're gonna be on the ground. There's no reason to spend that time for no reason on that. When you won't see it, and it won't impact anything other than just take more time, a lot more time. The way that I made the hands for the Paramore is actually something that I picked up from stop motion animation. It is how stop motion animation hands are made, specifically how the ones from The Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline, if I remember correctly. But it is, you make the hand out of pipe cleaners that you've burned off the feathers, or shave off. But if you burn them, one, you want to do that outside. But if you burn them, it actually burns the little fibers, the nylon fibers, sealing them around the metal, which makes it to where the metal is now kind of easier to paint, easier to move. Gives it a plastic-like kind of texture. But again, you want to do that outside, because it is nylon. Where are my pieces of wire? Show yourself, Satan. You're not on the floor, are you? Or over here? Aha! You were under there the whole time, you sneaky little goof. We're gonna need some beads. You gotta have beads. And bees. That's good. We'll do green. You got green bones, my friend. Oh, he's got green bones. They're good. And we are going to want, I am going to use a little bit of foam. I thought I could get by without it. Who was I kidding? I'm addicted. I'm addicted to foam. Just for the shoulders. And maybe the hips. Foam is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's how Summon Lesser Maker does his rope for Mordheim Terrain. Oh, really? So Summon Lesser Maker does his rope for Mordheim Terrain is with, oh, that would be good. Let me look at that. Actually, let me grab my weird pinning bits. One pinning bit linked to wire, because I think there actually might be a burnt piece in here already. There is. That would be really good. Yeah. So this is what it looks like after you take a lighter to a pipe cleaner. Let's see if that'll... Maybe. No. Looks like rope. Yeah, definitely looks like rope. There we go. Yeah, that looks like rope. I like that. I've not even thought about that. That's really smart. That would be good for, that would be really good for thicker pieces that, it's definitely thicker than I want for most things, which would be where I would use just string. But something thicker, man, that really is a good move because that is going to provide flexibility as well as firmness, which you do not get with string. Like, it looks good as hell, but if you're wanting to have something kind of swaying at an angle, you would have to glue that with string. And while it will, it's very effective, and I do that all the time. Do it all the time. And it's minimally it's sturdy to keep its form. Yeah, it's. I don't know, I feel like I said that. I feel like, but maybe. I don't know. Man, I am tired. All right, let me see your shoulders, my friend. Hello, friend. How broad are your shoulders? Pretty broad. That's the sound it makes when you cut foam. Now that's what it sounds like when you cut foam with a laser. And this is just the sound of cutting foam. Look at that. Ba 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 loo ba ba bam boom. Yay! You're beautiful. Nope. I already used you. But I haven't used you. So that is going to give me something to wrap that around. And that is going to give me something to put for the neck and the spine. That's... I've missed making demons. My sweet, sweet, sweet boys and girls. Yes, yes, yes. This one's for the rats. Fuck, this is gonna be sick. All right, I'm so down. This is so good already. Super glue, hot glue, super glue, foam. Yeah, because I don't want it to melt. But it's going to be wrapped in a lot of aluminum foil. First and foremost, I want that. All right, coffee, you're in the... I had distinction live by 30 seconds. Yeah, it was almost verbatim. Like, I was like, I don't know if I said that or not, but man, that sounds like what I said. At least in my head. At least I'm safe in my mind. At least I'm safe in my mind. Alrighty. Wire. Brothers. Nah, just wire though. But I do love them boys. Man, okay. Well, we're gonna go. So someone asked me on Insta last night while I was up at 3 a.m. What kind of wire I used for the Visterion champion, and I think on here I did not have an answer. I was like, I'll have to look into that. But I did look into it, and by look into it I mean I remembered. It is a very, very, very small. I don't usually, and I did not keep them for a long time. Um, but E's, the lowest strings, or the highest, physically the lowest when you're looking down, but it's the first string, the E, the high E. And by high, I mean octave. It is a single piece of music wire, so it is very much like the kind of stuff that I use for most of my detail work, which is just quote-unquote music wire, like that is sold. It looks just like this. Metal shapes. Oh, this is 0.15. Is that smaller? Yep, that's even smaller. Yep. Yeah, because I think this is 0.5. Yep, I got 0.015 and 0.02. And a high E string. So I told them that it's most likely a 0.023 or 0.025, somewhere around there. I said on here that I played 10s. That's completely incorrect. I play 11s, and sometimes I even switch to 12s. I like thick as fuck strings. I have really strong fingers. So when you grow up learning to play guitar without a tremolo, you get really fucking good at bends, which is how you get really good finger strength. So when you put 12s, which everyone else is like, which if you're like, hey, I'm playing shows and people are always like, hey man, can I get some strings? You start playing 12s, no one will ask you anymore. I'll tell you that right there. No one else will play and then be like, hey, can I get one of your strings? Like, well, it's a 12. And they're like, never mind, I'm good. I'll figure something out. Just because it is noticeably thicker. But yeah, 11s are my favorite. 12s are something that, like, for heavy shit, I love 12s. But for just normal, everything Fur and Teeth was written with 11s. I only really fucked with 12s, like, for doing some like real chugga shit. What the fuck was I doing? I was looking for those strings. So yeah, it's an 11. I don't see any here, which means that they are probably in this, and they are. You can tell. So Diodario is dope as shit, and they're my favorite string brand. But yeah, the thinnest of strings, the highest pitch. That is going to be what I used for those nails, and I made sure to specifically specify when you do that kind of stuff, put the string either in a vise facing away from you, and then use your wire snips to cut that. That is extremely important. Do not hold it in your hand like you can with this stuff. If you do this, you will have a puncture wound that sucks hard, like a bee stinger that is just steel, and it can go deep because of the amount of tension that will be caused when you cut that. It's steel wire. It's very, 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 very strong steel wire. So as soon as that snaps, that force is going to just. But I want my face to be lacerated. I can't even. I developed a very big fear of tuning acoustic guitars and basses. I don't like to do that. I don't like to put new strings on them. They are absolutely one that's just like, I'm going to keep those strings on there until they don't work anymore, i.e. break. Because my buddy Ed, I watched him he was putting a new string on his bass. So he was left-handed, and he had a Rickenbacker, one of the blue Rickenbackers it's the same one that Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney played the Beatles. Just such a sexy sounding bass. No other bass sounds like him. I love Rickenbackers. Very goofy, but so good. Anywho, he was putting on strings, and we were in high school, he over tightened it, and it sounded like a fucking gunshot. Yeah, fully Cooley bass. Yeah, that's so. Hers is right-handed, but yes, it is that bass. She's right-handed, I believe. Yeah, if I ever bought another bass, it would be that in black. Fucking love those basses. Um, but yeah, so he tightened it, and when it broke, it sounded like a gunshot, and it put a hole in his wall. The string it put a hole like that big from the force. It just, bah! But it's like, I mean, maybe 1 point. It's not even like 2 millimeters. Like it's just such. Just be really, really, really careful when you fuck around with guitar wire. That's all I'm saying. I don't want anyone to get hurt trying to do anything that I tell you how to do. I've gotten hurt a lot, so I want to make sure that I specify anything that's like, hey, this has potential to fuck you up for life. That I want to specify that. I.e., if that string had hit someone, I mean, you lose an eye. It could really mess you up if you get hit by something like that. Just people don't think about the tension and the pressure that builds up and stuff enough when doing hacking and slashing kind of stuff with trash. And by people, I mean me. Often I do things and I'm like, man, I thought this through really well. I didn't factor in that though, I'll tell you that. So here is where we're going to get a little silly, but don't tell nobody, okay? I mean it, possum. Don't tell nobody how silly this is about to get. We're going to start wrapping this in aluminum foil. And then we're going to wrap that aluminum foil in that wire. This is floral wire. Shout out to Michael's. For the longest time, they were the only craft store that I had access to, which is why I have this wonderful old pin vise. This is a Michael's special. I have no idea if they still make it. I would assume not. It's not a good pin vise, but I love it. And it's great for making very specific holes. And I do not have to worry about, man, I feel like I should take out that bit, because I can't. That's the only bit that fucking fits. That's how bad of a pin vise this is. It's not really a pin vise. It's a bit holder. And by bit holder, I mean this bit specifically. Yeah. The stark difference between Starrett and these is it's not even comparable. Like that, it's like apples and watermelons. Like not even in the same kind of food group. Watermelon, of course, being in the same family as chickens, other animals. Bears. Cats. Apples are just fruits. Nobody knows what watermelons are. There's an episode of Rugrats that Chucky eats a watermelon seed. And that left a lasting impression when I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Animals. Watermelons aren't alive. That was a joke. I'm really sleepy. A bad joke. It's just crazy talk at this point. I'm just kind of yapping. I'm just talking. Don't worry about it. I exclusively use the Michael's jewelry cutting snips as my hobby snips. I need to give those a check. I mean, I can't stress, like, I'm not dunking on, like, any non-name stuff as I'm making stuff out of trash. Like, I really do love this pin vise, just because, I don't know, at this point, it's almost got sentimental value. It's the very first thing that when I first learned how to pin, this is the only thing I had. So everything that I pinned had to be that size, which is roughly the same size as, not this floral wire. This is just a little bit thicker because it's coated, but the standard size that I used for decades. They're not great. They are what I know, and they're pretty cheap. That's it. Like, and also this thing is built like a tank. Like, I have broken, there are so many bits. Here's one. I break like drill bits all the time because I'm constantly drilling shit that's probably just not meant to be drilled with these things. But that thing is drilled as much, it drilled through teeth actually. This is the one I used whenever I put my wisdom teeth on a necklace. Well, one on a necklace, two on a bracelet. For a while I wore my wisdom teeth on a bracelet because I was really big into witch doctor shit. People were just as upset by it as you would imagine, especially in little old rural Kentucky. They're like, are those teeth? I'm like, yeah. That's pretty much how the conversation went. It kind of ended there. Alrighty, where'd that wire go? Who's wearing the wire? That's another fun thing. So, as you all know, or maybe don't if you're just tuning in, I've been really fucking into watching Forrest Galante kind of stuff on Discovery Channel. Love that Forrest Galante. He's great. I just want him to fix the planet. And by him, I mean all the people that work with him. I'm not giving him all the credit. I'm just saying. My friend Hannah and I had a rant about that, where I absolutely understand why people get upset at the concept of like, oh man, he did not discover that thing, but it's just like, nope, some other guy that like, you know, lives in that country did see it first, made a report, he came looking for it. But even like if Forrest is like, yep, I saw it, like that doesn't count. Like from a scientific standpoint, you don't get to claim the discovery of an animal unless you provide the scientific community evidence. Otherwise, it's just a theory. I mean, anyone can just throw out that anything exists. That's not what science is. Facts. You have to have facts. But yeah, I'm all about watching his shows this for the hottest moment, especially anything involving alien sharks. I know this is probably they're not great. No, yeah, okay. So they absolutely get me really pumped. Abyssal sharks. Anything that lives in the abyss has always been one of my favorite things. Probably you can tell. All of my Emperor's Children's eyes and, you know, Frustration's eyes are based on deep sea fish, which I did that with Darknet by TurboDork. It is a color shifting metallic. One of my favorite paints out there. There's nothing else that I know like it. And if there is, it's a copycat. Like TurboDork has just absolutely blazed the trail for metallic paints. I cannot give Craig enough praise. I love seeing people make stuff that they love, even when it's not appreciated at the time. But I think they are getting more appreciated these days. Those shoulders are probably too broad. Not too broad, too thick. But no, they're good. This is great. Oh man, I've missed working on demons. You wonderful, wonderful, thank you. 9:37. Man, time flies when you're having fun, huh? Okay. Well, let's get those little hippies in. That is probably going to be... Yeah, no, I'll put some foam on there. We're going to cut this in half, though. I don't need this much foam. I just need enough to cover that wire, but also not eat all of my aluminum foil, because this is a big beastie. And foam is a very specific thing that I use for filler, especially on big pieces. But it's proper to make sure that I have enough structure inside to hold it. Oops. Yep. Apples and watermelons. I'm going to use that often now. And I'm going to act like I don't know that that's not the saying. That's kind of where mumbo jumbo. It's mumbo jumbo. Yeah, pretty sure it's mumbo jumbo. Some guy called Kelly's work one day, and he said a phrase incorrectly, but it was exactly how we often say Margot's name. One of her many names. She is Jumbo, Mumbo, Grumbo, Margot. Jumbo being, of course, spelled with a G, G-R-U-M-B-O-T. It's pronounced Jumbo. Alrighty. I'm so tired. So sleepy. But I couldn't sleep because I was thinking about working on this guy. I'm just too excited. Whoa, that was Calm down. You crazy? Hey, I know what. I forgot to put the other part. That's why I do the little cross. So we can get that to not happen. Bam. Bam. Look at that. Now that is what we call fate. Or a coincidence. Depending on where you stand on those kind of things. Suspicious. Yeah, I don't know. I think she... Where is that princess? Let me see if I can find her. I came down here to sleep last night, and so I didn't wake Kelly up tossing and turning trying to go to sleep for multiple hours. And I was kind of just like, what the heck? Where are my kids? Like, I thought that some of them would come down, but it wasn't until like 2 hours that I went back upstairs just to like go pee. And they were like, Dad, what are you doing awake? It's 3 a.m. or like 2 something. And I was like, I was downstairs, and they were like, well, let's hang out. She is upstairs. She's probably looking, if I had to guess, she's probably in her tower, looking out the window at our neighbor Ken. He's probably doing his yard work right about now. And Margot likes to watch him from her tower, which is right next to the window in our bedroom. So she gets a perfect view at him. He likes it. They all wave to her. She doesn't wave back. You know how she is. Fancy. By that I mean fancy. She's fancy. She ain't got time to wave to everybody. Do you have any idea how much a wave from Jumbo costs? I don't. I've never gotten one either. Now, kisses are very rare. Margot kisses are some of the rarest. Theo kisses are not very rare. They are plentiful and against your will mostly. They're gonna happen. When that boy is just like, I gotta give you some kisses, you just have to be like, okay, I guess I need kisses. He's always right though. I was like, thank you so much. That's what I say. But yeah, speaking of kisses, I was really pumped we were watching one of his shows, and they were in no, not Australia, Madagascar. They're in Madagascar, and he found these weird little, I don't remember, they're not a hedgehog, but they look like a hedgehog. But he finds these little weird hedgehog-looking guys, and he's just like, oh my gosh, and he gets covered in little quills because he's got to pick them up, because he's just like, they're too cute, I have to pick them up. And I'm just like, pick them up, Forrest. And then he was just like, I'd give him a kiss, but I would just get needles all in my lips. And I'm just like, do it, you coward. You jump in with sharks all the time. Kiss that little fluffy animal right on its spikes. Do it. I'd do it. And then I regret it. But I did like that because it made me realize, okay, good. He still wants. Maybe they're black and gold. They look dope. Look dope. That's after I was told that I look like a drug dealer by my friend Ian at our local gaming store. After I asked him, "You're telling me I don't look like a doctor? You don't think I look like a doctor, Ian?" And he was like, "No. If I'm being honest, you look like a drug dealer. You look like someone who sells drugs." And after that, my buddy Tyler leans over past me and goes, "I think you look dope." And that's always been when someone's like, "Oh man, that's pretty dope," I just think of Tyler. I think you look dope. Thank you, Tyler. Someone appreciates my style. It's loud. It's not for everybody, but I like it. Yes, yes, yes. You got some hips now, my friend. Let's give you some leggies on those hips. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be awful and everyone's gonna love you so much. Yeah, right there. That's gonna be good. A little too far on that stomach bend. Right about there is where we want. Right here. Gosh, this is gonna look awful. I'm so excited. Come here, my friend. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. We're gonna not get poked by this. It probably wasn't a echidna. I bet it wasn't a echidna. Like the old Knuckles. Isn't it? Knuckles was always my favorite character from Sonic. I was a Sega kid. Kelly is often utterly mind-boggled by how unfamiliar I am with so many classic Nintendo games. And it's just like, I've never owned a Nintendo system until the GameCube. Actually, no, until the Wii. I bought my GameCube, I think, after... No, I did buy a GameCube before. I was always PlayStation, but I started with Sega. Yeah. Oh, grief. Oh, good grief. There it was. Pumpkin Hill rap goes hard. Pumpkin Hill? That sounds rad. Echidnas are cute. They got snoots. They do have snoots. That is what they have. Little snoot. Pumpkin Hill. Kelly's still been playing through Silent Hill 2, which has been wonderful to watch. I have never beaten it. Kelly has beaten the original, but not the remake yet. She's working on her way through it. I saw some Instagram little video in the story, my stories. Someone pretty much making a joke about every like audio log that you find where they're just like somehow kind of okay with everything going on, not really as disturbed as they definitely should be by the situation, and I found that very funny. Man, you're just falling apart on me. That's not a good sign. I feel like I just saw a little bit of smoke. And where there is smoke with super glue, there's fucking chemical burns. So that's not what we want to roll with right now. Not wanting that. Yeah, that's gonna be so great. There. That's what we want. That shape. Get in there. We're gonna wrap this in wire. Snip, snip, snip. Something need doing? Yes. This. Here we go. Again, sorry, I'm just ranting. Silly talk. Very sleepy. More than usual. It's like the old days of waking up at 6:40. Hey, possum. Hee hee. That's great. Okay, so before I do anything else, I'm going to wrap that guy after putting some super glue on it. I need to prop that up real quick. Don't you come off. There's my wire. Get back here. Gonna be wrapping this up so it doesn't come off. Blue-skadood. Okay, we're gonna pull that out just for a second so I can wrap this. Keep this part of it. Ah, shit. I don't think you can see what I'm doing here. I need to do this with my hands up here. So yeah, here we go. And this is going to be the armature for our little waggy here. Then it goes in the hip, as leggy bones do. Yep, right there. Put a little bit of super glue in there, a little bit of super glue in there. Real quick, over here, grab this guy, push him in. Yep, that's it. That's the vibe. This is gonna be so awful. People are not gonna like this model. It's gonna give someone nightmares. Whoever you are, you're welcome. Almost. I tapped it. Wrap it up. Wrap it up real good, yeah. We don't want it coming off while we're working on the grief banana. Yeah, that looks like some Mo legs. Those are awful. That is upsetting. Oh, good. Good, good, good. Then bend that guy down. I don't want to cut it. This guy I am going to cut though. We're going to go right there. Down. Don't want it to go in my hand. Alrighty. Yeah, gosh, this is going to be awful looking. I'm so excited. Yeah, okay. I'm definitely gonna finish building the armature for this guy at least before I stop. Right there is actually where his knees would be. Yep. Now he just needs his arms. There you are. Yep. Gosh, this is going to be awful looking. I'm so excited. Oh, you. Let's get a little bit of super glue in there around that wire just to hold it. Where the heck? Oh, I threw it on the floor. Pumpkin Hill. Just makes me think of Pumpkinhead. Shout out Pumpkinhead. Is Pumpkin Hill rap a genre of rap? I've never heard of that, but that sounds rad. This is gonna be great. I got an idea. I don't know. I'm not happy with that. How about there? You guys see I'm working on better. Absolutely. What the fuck? Come on, Eli. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Oh, you. Right there. I'm so pumped about this. This is looking really good. All right, we're going to put the aluminum foil on those arms. Wrap, 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 wrap. Wrap it up. Wrap up these arms. Aluminum foil time. Alrighty. Yep. Gonna be good. Gonna be a good one. There was a bunch of secret aluminum foil wrapped in that aluminum foil. Don't tell nobody. Greedline, what you doing over there? Made a silly little noise for a second. Classic Greedline. Starting to take shape. It's getting there. Yeah, there's a very large time period in which I'm just like anyone wondering like, hey, what are you working on? So like, if I showed you, you would not have any idea what the hell it's going to look like because it's just so not even close to being like ready to show. But it is definitely getting there to where we can start to see some of the overall vibe of this awful, awful demon. So you can kind of see how it does its thing, how it do that thing. So is Pumpkin Hill rap possum? Is that a genre of rap, or is it just like is Pumpkin Hill a group or an artist? Or is that something that is not existent, but just I don't know. I'm curious. Oh yeah. Man, you're just getting awfuler and awfuler by the second. Huh. Everybody loves Grief because he's so funny. Tells the funniest jokes. The only demon in the court who tells jokes. No one else is allowed. Good morning, Carrick. And all Knuckles songs have a rap, I think. Oh, Pumpkin Hill from Sonic. Man, my brain is just... Oh boy, I'm asleep. I decided to go to sleep while I'm awake today instead of last night. Yeah, awful. Eels. Is this something with a snake fall instead of legs? Snake fall instead of legs? I have a very small screen this morning. Oh, it's got two legs. They are bound at the feet. They're going to be nailed together. So it's dragging them behind it. Kind of in the vein of a really, 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 really scary version of Mo from Adventure Time. The old man who made all the robots in BMO. He crawls around with his hands because his legs have atrophied. Atrophied. And are no longer usable. So it's very reminiscent of that. But there's a lot of symbolism. I think it will be very apparent once we get a little bit closer to being done. It's just still very much in the armature phase right now. But this is such a big part. Sounds freaky in the best way. I am confident this is going to be a very, very, very disturbing demon. I'm really happy with the head shape so far. Grief is the jester demon of the Child Inverted's court. Yeah. Man, that's going to be great. Just kind of dragging itself along. You guys are going to absolutely love and hate its face. Its face is very specific, and in my head, I can't get it out. So there's only one thing to do. I'm trying to compress this as tight as I can so I can have a smaller area. Because it is going to have a rib cage, but it is hollow. like the Paramore. That's good. A little more super glue on that thing. Too much super glue on that thing. Man, did I not? Nope, I didn't. Damn it. All right, looks. Thank you, Karak. Karak. Yep, it's that wonderful time that everybody loves where I just chug a cup of cold coffee. Every time. They always love it. Me too. It's my favorite part of the day. It's not. I wish I would remember to drink it before it gets too cold. But I don't like really cold stuff or really hot stuff. Pretty sensitive to it, so it's definitely a double-edged sword. This is going to be so awful looking, and I'm so excited. Oh boy. Yep. Wire. Everybody wants it wrapped in wire, so I'll just give them what they want. Oh man. Yeah, I think I'm going to finish the armature, and then I'll probably end the stream. But I still got to do the chest, and then I will definitely be back working on it tomorrow. So I kind of do want to show the entire process of how scratch building is done. I think people would enjoy that. A lot of people have asked how I made the others, and while this is not the same, it's the same concepts. An idea in my head that I have to get out. And using weird tools, materials to achieve that. Typically. Not intentionally, just, yep, that's just kind of how they all were made. It's like a rock that you care about. Care rock. Yeah! There we go. Care rock. I like that. It's you say that, and I guarantee like that will absolutely stick with me, and I will remember it. My buddy has a wife whose name is Joey, and I could never remember it. And then this is back like when they were first dating, or not first dating, but whenever we'd see them, we did not see them enough for me to remember her name, but I would get very close with it. And then one day he was just like, Joey, like baby kangaroo. And then I was just like, holy shit. He was like, yeah, you'll never forget. And I haven't. Like once that was put in there, it was just like, oh, okay, I just needed something to, strange enough, and a care rock is a similar kind of concept. It's like, I don't know what a care rock is, but I don't think I'm ever going to forget about that now, because that's unique enough, but a memorable thing. Let's get you pushed in there. Yeah, everybody likes that. Oh, sweet, sweet grief. Let's show everyone your pretty face. How you're gonna look. Yeah. Maybe a slightly shorter neck, because it's going to be pulled forward and back like this. No, not shorter at all. Hell yeah. Perfect. Oh, grief. Good grief. Yeah, there you go, Grief. You big old silly baby, you. The funniest guy in the whole damn town. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, so that's going to be the overall vibe of Grief. Is a large demon, very, very similar in design language to the Paramore. That'll be a lot more apparent once we get further. That drags itself around, much in the vein of Frustration. It's not the smartest of demons. It is very different from the Paramore in that sense. The Paramore being the most like capable demon in the child's court or harem. The Jester, Grief, is essentially a people pleaser. Yeah, that is absolutely going to be awful. So its chest cavity is pretty much going to be hollowed out right here. So you can see that there's nothing inside of it. Grief is hollow. Grief is hollow and wears the mask of humor. So that's what's going on here from a, you know, metaphorical kind of standpoint. But there's a lot of other bits that go with it, and you know, commentary. But yeah, all of my demons are very much a personal thing. They literally are my demons. So it's been a very therapeutic and fun adventure of self-awareness. That was the whole purpose of them initially, is to make real demons like they're presented in the lore. And using a time period of extreme grief last year, that's where I started to make them. And definitely I think the work that I'm most known for, probably, but which I'm very, very happy about, because it's just like they all were literally my internal demons. So putting them out there is extremely empowering, and also just rewarding by like anyone that like benefits from seeing something so fucked up and like being able to relate to it and want to change that part of themselves to be okay with who they are, not to make other people happy, but for them. Like that's the entire kind of point of the art, my art. But yeah, I think this is probably a good stopping point. No, I don't. The chest cavity will not take very long, Eli. Come on. Yeah, we'll do the chest cavity. So essentially, much like the Paramore, just made a piece of aluminum foil pulled back like that, and we're going to build up on that. I do need to stop though, because I've got to start working on commissions. Yes. There's my sweet awful boy. Here you go. All right. This is pretty much cash, I think. This one's not. But it is completely stuck. Poke. Alrighty. Really? Come on now. Now you're just being silly. Do the thing. There might be way too much super glue accelerator over here. Maybe that's the issue that I'm having. Or maybe the issue that I'm having is this is completely empty. You lied to me. I thought you had stuff in you. Alrighty. I'll be glad that I finished the armature. Pop. Once you pop, you just can't stop. Boop-a-doop, boop. Put that super glue on the wrong side, which means that we're just going to have to work with what we got here because I'm not touching that super glue. That's fine. A little Hereditary, anyone? It's kind of give me the vibes of all the really good spoopy dolls that Charlie makes. Come on now. You are being difficult. Stop it. Yeah, and from here I will add some ribs. But that'll be a tomorrow thing because I got to get on commissions after I had some little bit of cereal. Always nice to hear someone else's experience with that. I had to pause. I just got caught up, but your comment about sharing these energy and so others can relate to them is, I think, something any creative can relate to, and I think you put it very well. Thank you. No, thank you. That's it. I honestly, for the longest time, and these, essentially, that's last year while going through really rough time. I kind of hit a fuck it point and just started playing around in my trauma vault. And the more I did that, the more I started to understand myself and who I am and why things like affected me the way they did. And after that, it was just like, man, I don't know why I do the things I do to myself, like mentally. So it's just like being more open and honest, but taking the things that I was very much at my art for so long has just been escapism, my entire life really. But it's something very private, something I do not share a lot. So that's there's not very many posts like prior to like about a year ago on my Instagram because half of them I've deleted. I do that often. I constantly reevaluate my old work with an extremely negative mindset. I just have a very negative mindset, like internally, directed internally, not like in everything, but me. And I have worked very hard to try and fix that. And just hearing after the event and talking about a couple of the pieces and like where the inspiration came from, a lot of people reached out and were just like, yeah, you know, it made me feel seen. It made me feel better about who I am, and it was just like, huh, okay, well I gotta do that because I've never gotten any kind of validation of helping people from like any job that I've had that like, yeah, so it's just they very quickly became something like that's what I want to do. I want to do what I love and use it to try and help in any way that I can for anyone who is seeking it, and help show how I do what I love, which is just make. But no, thank you very much for that, Kirok. Kirok. Yeah, I got it now. It's a rock that you care about. No, I'm very pleased with the progress that I got done today on this guy. Only about 2 hours, and it's clearly my idea of what it's going to look like is starting to take shape. Yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. Can't wait to see what we get done on it tomorrow. Yeah, it needs to be facing more like that, I think. Nah, its head's tilted. It's laughing. There we go. That's great. Oh, you. Just so sexy. Just too sexy. Awful looking. Yeah. So I think that's where we're going to stop today, and I'm going to get to some commissions and get those knocked out while I've got the time. Thank you all so much for your company and keeping me going while working on while grief, hanging out, talking, chatting. Sorry about my crazy random tangents. Again, like 4 hours of sleep. I'm going to get some more sleep tonight. This should help. Not thinking about how I'm going to start working on that, because I've already started working on that. Probably will make a big difference. And I might even take a nap today. Who knows? But yeah, thank you all so much. Kerak, Possum, Gardner, and Shankly, of course. Let's see. I'm trying to remember who else off the top of my head. Like I said, everybody who's in the chats. Shankly. Oh, Maxirian 5 or V. Yes. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and chatting. Yeah, I will be back tomorrow. Yeah, until then, take care. Be good to yourselves and each other. Sit pretty. Have a good one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends.